Lockdown. The biggest lesson lockdown has taught us is to be hygienic, to use your safety measures properly. We have never realized that hygiene will carry that much of importance in our life. We have never used to have so much of hand washing, so much of sanitization in your all the products of consumption. Now the companies who are now going to sell post COVID also has to take care of those measures which going to be the new norm of our mindset, that is hygiene, that is safety of the products, how safe they are to be consumed by us. When I was discussing with Mr. Huzefa Merchant, I got to understand that they had envisioned to make their product hygienic. Let's hear out what they have done in a sector which is more on the furniture category and incorporated hygiene factor into them.
The news started coming in that a country like China is facing a mass virus situation. At that point, I was in Dubai. That was the 1st of Jan, or second, I think the first week of Jan. And at that time, there was a conversation that we had, where we said, if this is happening in China, it's going to spread in other parts of the world soon. I didn't know at that point it's going to become a global pandemic, but I knew for a fact that it's not going to remain within China because China is a very frequented country and people are going to move in and out of China. So, unless travel was restricted at that point, things weren't going to get any better. So, we started working on at that point also figuring out that if this does happen, retail is going to slow down because the first thing that takes a hit always is commerce, right? In any global tragedy or in any sort of a global scenario, first thing that takes hit is commerce. So we did start thinking from Jan Feb onwards, in fact, how things would change. Uh, Maybe till the first probably the first week, second week of March, we didn't realize how big this is going to become, right? Nobody really gauged this for becoming a global pandemic. And then when the lockdown started, we dipped into our bag and saw that we've got certain solutions. We've we have certain uh, things that we've seen in the past, which today can become very relevant. And in terms of making retail safer, when you get out of COVID, retailers are going to face a new obsession with hygiene and cleanliness. People are going to
Definitely.
be obsessed with stuff which is bacteria free, which is safer, which is clean. And we worked on a solution to create shelves which are bacteria free.
Wow, wow. That was I was just going to come like what you're thinking about that. So that's nice.
So we've already done that. In fact, we had worked on the solution a little while back, but at that point, nobody showed interest in being bacteria free. Today, they will. Then there is things like when you're looking at the retail environment, you're looking at people. We need to work on how cashiers and other people who are interacting with so many shoppers on a daily basis can be made safe. So we're designing certain solutions that can make cash desks safer. We are already working on self checkout solutions. We already have self checkout solutions in place.
So
So self checkout could in fact help people within the stores work in a different way. But most
is it like you are talking about something called phygital, like you are talking about
correct.
that?
So
Oh,
phygital
okay.
phygital is the new reality today, but it's gonna take a very different turn. I think post COVID, people are going to be looking at going phygital. In fact, I think the new trend is also going to be It's going to be born out of optimizing costs, Sandeep. Today retail is a growth-driven industry, right? If retailers stop growing, they cannot survive. They need to keep
Right.
adding to their top line and adding to their bottom line. Yet, retail is not going to have the kind of footfall, the traction. It's going to take some time for people to recover. Uh, Money is going to be tight. That means everyone's going to be looking at optimizing their budget. And I use the word optimizing the budget because I think we might need to start thinking of new ways of doing retail.
Right.